One day, the adventurous Kago was lounging at home, flicking through TV channels when a news report about wars and conflicts flashed across the screen. The sight made his fur stand on end. This can't go on, he thought. If humans keep this up, fish will be a thing of the past. Then, an idea sparked a brilliant idea. He remembered the time machine in his neighbor's lab that once took him to the Jurassic era. This time, he wanted to see what Earth would be like 100 years in the future. Without wasting a second, Kago dashed to his neighbor's house. The neighbor was a quirky human scientist, who greeted him with a mischievous grin. "Hey, Kago, fancy a trip in the time machine? It's all fixed up now." Kago's eyes widened with excitement. "You bet," he meowed. The scientist pressed a button, and the time machine whirred to life. With a flash, they zoomed forward to a post-nuclear future. As the hatch creaked open, Kago saw a world shrouded in a dusty, gray haze. "This is worse than my litter box after a week without cleaning," he snorted. Curious as ever, Kago ventured into a massive underground city, where people wore protective suits like oversized balloons. Since he didn't have a suit that fit, he wrapped himself in a plastic bag, hoping for the best. But, naturally, the bag ripped open, making the crowd burst out laughing. "So much for my state-of-the-art protection," he muttered. Next, Kago's tummy grumbled, and he set off to find food. What he discovered were edible insect crackers. He sniffed one and recoiled in horror. "You mean to tell me there isn't a single fish left around here? What kind of future is this?" he cried. To make matters worse, the air quality was so bad that even breathing felt like a chore. Determined to survive, he used his fluffy tail as a makeshift air filter, only to find himself gasping for breath. Note to self: tails are for balancing, not filtering. Continuing his journey, Kago stumbled upon a city covered by a giant transparent dome. It reminded him of a giant cat bed. "Now, this is more like it," he thought, and promptly searched for a cozy spot to take a nap. When he wasn't napping, he was investigating future technology. He visited a food production lab, where all food was synthesized. He took a bite of artificial fish and grimaced. "This doesn't taste like fish. It doesn't even have the soul of a fish." Undeterred, Kago tried his paw at future farming, planting seeds in the barren soil. But the plants grew in the weirdest shapes, with some resembling fish-shaped tomatoes. "What kind of nonsense is this? I just want a real fish," he yowled in frustration. Then came the future supermarket, where everything was packaged in radiation-proof wrappers, even radiation-resistant cat food. Kago struggled to open one of the cans and, after several failed attempts, flipped the shelves in fury. In a town powered entirely by solar energy, the sky grew overcast, plunging the place into darkness. Kago saved the day by using a small light bulb attached to his head, illuminating the town like a fluffy, glowing hero. Future household chores were all handled by robots, so naturally, Kago tried to make one open a can of tuna. Instead, the robot malfunctioned, causing the can to explode, and drenching him in fishy juice. "Great, now I smell like fish. But I still can't eat any," he grumbled. Water had become Earth's most precious resource, and people used machines to extract moisture from the air. Kago attempted to lick the air for water, but his tongue remained dry as a bone. Even the air is stingy. Kago even tried his luck at an oxygen station, where people refueled their air tanks. When it was his turn, he sniffed the nozzle, and, not knowing what to do, just exhaled dramatically. "Well, that was refreshing," he exclaimed, though nobody seemed impressed. Transportation in the future was all automated, so he hopped onto a driverless electric train. It sped off without a hitch, until Kago pressed all the buttons out of boredom, sending the train on a wild loop-de-loop course. In a junkyard, Kago discovered a mountain of discarded items, even finding an ancient tin of fish. His eyes sparkled with joy as he shouted, "Treasure!" For fun, Kago tested out virtual reality, where he became a giant version of himself, chasing after digital mice with glee. He got so carried away that he ran headfirst into a wall. Realizing the future was a total disaster, Kago decided it was time to head back to the time machine and return to the present. As a memento, he grabbed a bizarre future plant that looked like it had escaped from a sci-fi movie. With another sudden flash, Kago was back in the present. The neighbor scientist stood nearby, casually sipping coffee. "Welcome back, Kago," he said, grinning. "How was the future?" "Chaotic," Kago replied, "but thanks for the wild ride." He scampered off home, where he promptly planted the weird futuristic flora in a pot. The plant seemed to glow faintly, like it was judging his gardening skills. Feeling inspired to make a difference, Kago took to the internet, where he unleashed his newfound wisdom about the environment. "If we don't act now, our future will be a wasteland, full of smog and fake fish," he declared, typing furiously. "Save the planet unless you're a fan of eating plastic tuna."